Hey, what's up? It's me, Gazbot, and it's time for another 15-minute sketch. That's not 6, that's a 1 and a 5 for 15 minutes. We're going to really try to do 15 minutes this time. Okay!
I'm ready to start here, and I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm still doing 15 minutes, but I'm going to have 5-minute timers go off to help me stay on track because I always go over, and I'm going to actually try to not go over. Well, I always try to not go over, but hopefully this will make a difference. Anyway, starting the first 5-minute timer. Go. I am selecting a brush color. Oh, that is a weird brush, so I will go ahead with 100 and 50% opacity. Now, I got a few suggestions, and I thank you for those that participated. The suggestions, not a ton, but they were all pretty good this time. And the one I decided to go with is a character called Q from Street Fighter 3? Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which maybe I've played it once, but I don't really remember it. I mostly played 2 and then 4 and, some turbo editions and stuff, but the Alpha Strike, Third Strike, those ones, I probably played once or twice if it happened to be in an arcade I was in, but it wasn't one I specifically knew. So, I don't really know this character. I went and watched a video real quick to see what special moves they may have or whatever, and it looks like they're basically just a brawler, just a punchy kind of character that will sometimes charge up or whatever, at least in the videos I saw. But the reason I chose it, and I imagine if the person, it was Supersaurus Rex actually who suggested it, I'm imagining they may have suggested it, A, probably because they like the character, obviously, but B, I do a lot of Japanese stuff, a lot of tokusatsu, and there is a character from Japan called Robot Detective, who this character has to be based on, or an homage to. It's very, very similar. The faceplate is almost identical, and then this character has sort of a fedora trench coat thing, whereas the other character had a little bit more, I don't know, suit with a beret kind of look. But it's the same thing, you know what I mean? And so I imagine that's probably why this got suggested to me. Perhaps not, but that would be my assumption. And that's also why I chose it, because I thought it was kind of cool looking. I got a few other good suggestions. Knifehead from Samurai Ox, and Gamora from Carl Perino, and a few others. I'm trying to look at a reference pic here also because, like I said, I've never drawn this character before. The main thing is it's basically like an android face and a fedora, but then he has like gloves on as well, and I'm trying to see if I want to fit that in. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and move it over here. Actually, I'll bring it back up again because I want to get the hand in if I can. But yeah, and like I said, from what I could see in the video, there were not a ton. It's not like he had fireball moves or something like that I could incorporate. So maybe I'll put a little teeny bit of electricity if I feel like it needs it. But even that seemed like a bit of a stretch because it didn't seem like something that, like a Blanca type character where it's happening all the time. Let's give him 5 fingers. What do you say? 5 times. All right, and then I'll give him that sort of big old lapel-y collar that's always flapping around in these detective android types. And then it has an almost human-looking neck, which I think is different from Robot Detective. So maybe this character is actually cyborg or part human or something. Whereas I think, well, Robot Detective is referred to as a cyborg, I believe, as well. But there, as far as I know, there's no human form. I have not watched that show. I know of it. I know what the character looks like, but I've never actually watched it. In all honesty and fairness, the other thing is this character is called Q. And the Robot Detective, I believe, refers to themselves as K, which further kind of, in my mind, proves that this must have been an homage because they're going with a single letter sort of deal. Okay, I'm going to make this a flat layer. Flat's not the right word. I'm going to make it an opaque layer, a translucent layer, a less noticeable layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch to a 25 brush. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go ahead and put some shading in first and then put some inks over top, almost like I'm doing a sloppy watercolor. Because a lot of times I end up needing to put color in at the end, and that is part of what messes me up. So I'll put this at 50% opacity and 100 brush size. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab some blue, which will be the shadow. And nothing's coming out because I am on Eraser. I set those settings on Eraser, which is not what I meant to do. Alright, so here we go. We're going to obviously have a shadow under where his fedora is, but he has these sort of glowy eyes, so I'll try to leave those open. Right now it looks a little bit like the old school way of drawing Nightcrawler, which when I was a kid, I'd practiced drawing Nightcrawler from the X-Men, and I always thought, see, like these little triangles, I thought that was kind of part of a pattern on his face or something. I didn't realize it was just supposed to be a stylized way of drawing a shadow under his eye. And so I would draw him in, like, you know, bright light or no shadow at all, and I would put that in thinking that was, you know, like drawing the lines on Spider-Man's mask, not realizing, you know, that's just a shading technique. Wow, that was weird. That was my 5 minutes. Okay, so second 5 minutes. Going into 10 now. And this, you know what, I think I got the shape of the fedora a little bit wrong. And I realize I want to do shading, but I'm practically just redrawing it, but that's fine. We'll go with that. I'll do a little redrawing with the shading. This hat is kind of weird. It's a lot of things, like, the problem with a lot of these 15-minute drawings, well, problem, I mean, it's good because it's stretching me and it's exercise. But, you know, I'm drawing characters I've never drawn before. I'm drawing things, like, I've never drawn a hat exactly like this before. So I'm, like, trying to figure out how to draw it as I'm drawing it. It's not like I know how already or I've done this before. If I was smart, I'd be like, hey, look, I'm going to draw Wolverine or something I've drawn before, and it would probably come out a lot better and a lot easier. But, again, that's not what I'm trying to do. So it's a weird thing where I'm presenting this as, hey, here's a thing for everybody to watch and learn from. But I'm kind of struggling and stumbling and learning myself, which, you know, that could be educational as well. I like watching artists better than me, the same as me, worse than me, and just sort of watch the process. But, you know, there is something satisfying if there's an artist better than me that's struggling. So, not that I'm saying I'm better than you. I have no idea how good you are. You could very likely be the best artist in the world, in which case stop watching this and go create more art, best artist, because you're done practicing. Actually, that's not true. Even the best artist in the world is always practicing, I suppose. Alright. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go real heavy with the shading here. Excuse my potato. Bring this down to 50, and then I'll put another layer, and I'll make this one a little bit lighter. So still adding shadow, but a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to go in and do some appropriate colors. Right now I'm just doing all... Actually, I'm kind of almost doing an underpainting, which is something I don't normally do, and it's something I learned in art school, but that I never use because I don't paint, but it's that you would sort of paint red and yellow hues and blue hues for like cool and dark spots, and you would kind of make that translucent and then paint everything over it. It's something I guess the Hildebrands did. I'll leave that at that. And I'm sort of doing that without trying right now. So put a little bit more in here. Da 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 da. And I'll make that. Oh, it's already 50? Oh, I put that on the same layer. I didn't mean to, but whatever, that's fine. Now I'll put some color layer here now. He's supposed to have sort of a... trench coat, I guess, is supposed to be brown, but it looks almost like a lavendery purple to me, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And so as you can see, I'm putting the color, you know, like the accurate, actual, whatever you want to call it, color over. But even if I don't put any shading, it already has texture and shading because of what I put underneath. And again, I probably should have done red highlights and stuff, but it's not even something I was intending to do, and I'm kind of making it up as I go along at this point. He's got a red tie, and this is supposed to be a red band here, and I forgot to color his hat the same color as his jacket, which is problematic because I did it at 50%. So I'm grabbing a color that looks similar to it, but it's not going to match up exactly, and that's okay because maybe the hat was made by a different manufacturer or is older or something. Alright, and then I'll put a little bit of white in for his glove, and yellow for his eyes. Put a little bit of a glow, and I'll put a little bit of gray in on his face, like a bluish gray, which again I put in the shading, but this is for color. Oh, and flesh for his neck a little bit. And then I need to put some highlight, I think, on his mask, his face mask, whatever it is, because it's getting lost a little bit there. I'm going to reduce all this to 75. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some highlight colors. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot this time. I'm actually just thinking a lot more about what I'm doing, which is good for art practice, bad for video. Yeah. All right, and some more highlight. I'm gonna just go straight white. Now I am at 50%, so even though it's straight white, it's not literally straight white because I'm at 50%, but you know what I'm saying. It's 50% straight white. And then I'm gonna do some straight black for the extra heavy shadow. But again, I'm at 50%. Okay, that's 10 minutes. And we are into the last 5 minutes. Oops. We are into the last 5 minutes now. And I don't know why the timer keeps going off, but it is done going off now. Alright, I'm going to put these heavy shadows in, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some sort of pseudo ink lines to hopefully, because right now it looks very washed out, which is sort of on purpose, but we don't want it. I want to get something somewhat finalized. I mean, it's a 15-minute sketch, so how good could it really be? But I want it to be something somewhat finalized. He repeats himself. Excuse me. Alright, and then I'm going to take that down to 50%. So it's actually like 25% of the total. And I'm going to bring this down to 10%, or 15, let's say. And then I'm going to do my pseudo ink layer on top here. And for this, I'm going to drop down to 19 as far as my diameter. I'm going to bring my opacity up to 75. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I feel like the most important thing is his face here, and I'm going to intentionally be a little bit sloppy and scratchy to contrast sort of the softness of what I had been doing up to now. I think it'll be interesting, if not good. It'll be interesting. There you go. That's something to strive for. Interesting. Actually, I think there's truth to that. I said it kind of capriciously, but you know, if art is interesting, I've definitely looked at art that I'm like, that's not well drawn, or I don't like the message, or whatever. But it held my interest. I looked at it. I thought about it for a minute. So it did a job. It might not have been the job they specifically wanted it to do, but it did the job of art, which was holding interest, causing discussion, whatever. And of course, boy, people are going to be talking about this for years to come now. But you know what I'm saying. It'll have something to it. And I can tell already I'm going to have to bring up the opacity of some of those background layers because this is getting nuts. Or drop the opacity of this one maybe. Because while I like the contrast, it's a bit too much. And he's got sort of panel lines, like construction, where he's got rivets in his face and stuff here. So I'll go ahead and make sure to get those. Got 2.5 minutes left, and he's got sort of a molded dispassionate mouth similar to Voltron or Power Rangers or something like that. I'll put a heavy shadow here again because of the hat. Let me back up a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of weird looking, that hat. Oh, I meant to raise the opacity and I raised the size of the eraser brush. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Okay, give a little edge on the fedora, and I'm at 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and fake in the rest. I was gonna go with like a different. I was gonna do this and then go in with like a heavier one and a lighter one to get a variety of line, but I'm gonna kind of fake that now because, like I said, I'm really trying not to cheat. Although, you know, cheating. What is cheating when you're just trying to draw? It's a challenge, they say. Yes, that's true. It is a challenge, so I should try to stick to it. I think the one bit of cheating I will do is just raising the opacity on some of these background layers. Oh man, I'm really flying out. Oh, that's it. That's time. All right. So I'm going to, as I said, cheat by raising the opacity level on some of these background. Oh wait, that's not it. I got 1:20 left. That was an alarm for something else. Ha ha ha! But you see how fast I started drawing? Deadlines work, people. I'm like, I'm out of time. Draw, 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 draw. All right, I am going to be out of time though. So let me put all of that. Scoop out here. I'm going to raise the background level of this one. Yes, to 100. Sure. And then this one, I will raise to 75. And then this one, 75. That's looking a little bit too much. Bring it back down to 50. Bring that one to 75. That's looking okay. What is all this? Garbage. All right, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put in a background color. I've got 37 seconds left. Oh my gosh, go, go, go. Can't even talk. Go, go, go. Huh. No, that was a mistake. 50%. 4 seconds. Just want to soften this a bit. I'm unhappy with this, and it is done. Alright, well, I'm often unhappy with these, but I always cheat. This was a straight, legit 15 minutes. The color's a little bit more washed out than I like. The whole thing's, you know, it's fine. It's a good, you know, you can tell it's the character. The main thing I'm unhappy with is the color choices. I had some ideas of some artistic stuff I wanted to do with this, which was probably pretty foolish of me that I wanted to experiment in that way in a 15-minute time frame. Not that it's bad to experiment, but like mixing those two challenges together, maybe not the best idea in the world. But anyway, that is the 15-minute sketch digital go-go of Q from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Thank you, Super Source Rex, for the suggestion. Thank you also for Nerd Culture Show, Remo86, Ian Bonner, and Diane Dutton for their suggestions that didn't get used. Maybe next time we'll do it again. Thanks a lot. I'm going to cut back to me in the studio.
And there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's stressful for me, but a good exercise. And really, I just wanted to get another video up because it had been so long and I haven't had time to edit my other ones. So stay tuned for more content. Good? That's up to you, but more content. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Goodbye.